Barb read one of Jeff's poems, or last time, open art night, read one of Jeff's poems to start the evening off. And it was beautiful. It was stunning. And this time, Barb, who is Jeff's wife, asked Amy, who was also a brilliant poet, a brilliant spoken word artist, to start us off tonight. And she's going to do that with a nod to Jeff Duncan. Take it away.
So, as many of you know, Jeff Duncan has always opened Open Art Night, and it is my honor to continue in his footsteps and share a poem of his as well as one of my own. If you are not familiar with Jeff's work, he was an excellent poet and storyteller, and I would highly recommend grabbing one of the last copies of his books today back in the lobby. I'm going to first read Jeff's poem titled On the Patio in Paul's Valley, and then my reflections on the piece. There I would sit with my grandparents, Gram and Grad, in the dark when the day had cooled down a little. Not that it had become cool, mind you, just cooler. For this was summertime in Oklahoma, where heat feels right at home, and Gram and Grad had no AC or TV for that matter. So there we would sit every night and talk about anything and everything, anyone and everyone, family, friends and neighbors, strangers, the curious twists and turns that life can take, mostly in the form of yarns, of anecdotes, short stories, and tall tales. Many of them over and over again, for I was young enough to have an appetite for repetition, which they were happy to indulge. Now and then we stopped talking for a while to watch the lightning bugs meandering about in the midair and to look for falling stars and to listen to the frogs and the crickets and miscellaneous insects carrying on their conversation. And then we resumed our own until it was time to go to bed, to sleep. Only later, years later, did I learn that all was not all that well with Gram and Grad. That in fact they were at such odds, were so fractured, that they were seriously considering divorce. But they spared me their misery and grief and gave me a taste of Eden instead, before the fall. And for such love, I have written this poem in their praise.